So, a king ascends to the throne of England in January of 1936, and he quit just 326 days later. And when his younger brother took his place and visited Canada, well, the Canadian Mint issued a commemorative silver dollar, and it's a beauty. We're going to talk about it, so stay tuned. What do you say, you too? Welcome to another edition of the Silver and Gold Stack Attack, and this is episode number 89. As always, I'd like to thank you for taking a few minutes out of your day to check out the new video, and if you'd like to help support this channel, then why not click on that thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I humbly appreciate all the amazing support you folks have given the channel, I really do. We've had a really nice increase in subs, and you guys are appreciated, know that. So, a prince elevated to the most powerful position in England, and he blew it off in less than a year. What caused that? Well, we're going to go over that story really quickly, and I say quickly because I generally have zero tolerance for tales of the royals and their drama. I really don't. They're no better than our politicians here in the U.S., of course, but I just can't deal with it. But yeah, I'm going to show you a fantastic Canadian Silver Dollar Commemorative that was minted after the king's younger brother took his place, and that would be this one right here. It's generally referred to as the Royal Visit Silver Dollar, and she's a beaut. She's a beaut. So we're going to go over this one real quick. You guys know I love my Canadian silver, the bullion and the commemoratives and the dollars. I mean, I stack all of it. I love it. But that being said, let's roll. All right, after months of poor health, King George V died on 20 January 1936. His son became King Edward VIII, and, well, he watched the announcement of his new role from a window of St. James Palace with twice-divorced American socialite Wallis Simpson. Now, while Edward loved his life as a prince, he did a lousy, albeit short job as the king. He was initially excited with his new post, but that soon gave way to apathy, and, well, he found he disliked the position.
Yeah, that's how it always starts. But then later there's running and screaming.
On the 16th of November 1936, Edward invited British Prime Minister Stanley Baldwin to Buckingham Palace, and that's where he expressed his plans to marry Wallis Simpson after her divorce was final. Well, Baldwin wasn't too happy about that, and he let the king know it in so many words, basically telling him that his subjects would see it as morally unacceptable because remarriage after divorce was opposed by the Church of England, of which Edward was the formal head. You could see where the conflict would be. Also, Wallis had literally zero fans among the British populace. She just was not liked. So Baldwin basically proclaimed that Edward would simply have to ditch Wallis in order to succeed as a king. Needless to say, that didn't happen, and, well, Edward officially abdicated after only 326 days on the throne. So, two divorces aside, it was rumored that Wallis Simpson was in love with another dude during her marriage to Edward VIII. I mean, I don't get what the attraction is, but whatever works, I guess. She's certainly a handsome woman. Historians argue that Simpson was only in love with Edward's status. And that was pretty much corroborated as French secret police, who were monitoring their phone calls between France and England during that time, reported that when Edward VIII told Simpson that he abdicated the throne for, well, she apparently called him a fool. Historians also claim that the other man, aka the love of Simpson's life, was someone she'd met while living abroad in China. It was later alleged that she felt her public life and marriage with Edward VIII was a charade. But apparently she loved the life enough to stay with him, because after his abdication he was given the title of Duke of Windsor. This entire affair would mar the face of the royal family for decades, pretty much going down as a scandal that rocked the world and changed the course of history. He would end up marrying Simpson in France on 3rd of June 1937, and they lived their own life up until his death in May of 1972. Wallace would pass away some 14 years later. So, long story short, Edward's brother, the Duke of York, succeeded to the throne as George VI. Accordingly, George VI's eldest daughter, Princess Elizabeth, became the heir presumptive and currently reigns as the Queen of England to this day, for what seems an eternity at that. And here you can see our young Princess Elizabeth as a child. I honestly think that's the happiest I've ever seen her. I don't know, maybe the mints should have used this image on their coins instead? No? Alright, never mind. So that brings us to the royal visit to Canada on 19 May 1939, where King George and his wife Queen Elizabeth sailed from England on the Empress of Australia, bound for Canada on a month-long tour of North America. Now, this was the first visit by a reigning sovereign to Canada, so it was a pretty big deal. It was the first visit to any overseas dominion, for that matter. It was also the first time that a British monarch had visited the United States of America. And with the clouds of war darkening Europe, the tour had a ton of political significance as, basically Britain was seeking out allies in the expected conflict with Nazi Germany. And the Canadian Mint, in accordance with the visit, scrambled to create this commemorative dollar to memorialize the occasion, even selling them in stores and pharmacies. Of course, like most commemoratives, too many were made, so a decent amount were sent back for melting. Alright, let's take a quick look at the stats on this coin. On the left, you see the Parliament building in Ottawa, and the Latin phrase on top is translated to, "He reigns by the faith of his people." Flip on over to the right, of course you've got George VI, and that's translated to, "George VI, by the grace of God, King and Emperor of India." You gotta bear in mind they had ruling over India at that time. The mintage, 1,363,816 of these were made. Composition, of course, is 80% silver, 20% copper. And your actual silver weight is 0.6 ounces. 0.6 ounces of silver. And on this slide, you can see a picture of the Ottawa Parliament building, real time, and one on the coin. Actually, it looks like they did a pretty good job on this. Not too bad. A lot of good detail on this coin. Now, with Edward VIII's really, really short run, one question that might come to mind is this: were there coins with King Edward VIII, his image, ever minted? The answer is yes. A very, very short run was begun, but the Royal Mint wasn't able to get them into circulation before Edward abdicated. So most of them were melted down, while a few were sent to the Royal Mint Museum. And other surviving coins were purchased by collectors. And in 2020, an Edward VIII sovereign sold at auction for £1 million, or about $1,200,000 in US dollars, if we're going by current exchange rates. That's a pretty good amount for a British coin. I believe it's top 5 ever sold, if I'm not mistaken. All right, well, that is going to wrap it up for this 89th episode of the Silver and Gold Stack Attack. And if you made it this far, kudos to you. That was an absolutely insane story that not a lot of people actually know about. Here in the U.S., anyway. You talk to most Brits and they'll tell you the whole story. But here in the U.S., we're not so familiar with it. I believe both of them came out with a book shortly after all that mess calmed down. They both wrote their own story. Yeah, you know what? May as well expound on it as best you can. Get the money. But anyway, I will catch up with you in the next episode. In the meantime, what you gonna do? Damn right. Get stacked. Stay safe and be well, everyone. I am out of here. Peace, people. Have a great weekend.